costume. The controversy, though, doesn't come from the fatalities and the gore and the slicing off heads and fucking kicking them straight out the backside of people's assholes and the fatalities and all of that. The controversy surrounds the fact that they've made a decision to desexualize the female characters and change their costumes into something that are much less revealing. And what they might say is tactile. I don't know that fighters would fight in any of this stuff. I mean, we see what fighters fight in like UFC, and all the accessories and stuff would probably just get in the way.
They get more naked, to be completely honest, when they fight.
Yes. So are you looking at the pictures by any chance? Have you found any?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
So Sonya is a big point of contention. Melina, Katana, and historically, through media for a very long time, women were usually sexualized characters, lots of cleavage, big breasts. They started even working on the animation of their breast, I think in like Mortal Kombat 9, where like they jiggled more realistically. And of course, all these females are endowed in a way that's not really like the human standard. It's like almost like comic books or something like that. So
it's the same standard that men get pushed upon with like He-Man and Wolverine. Those are not physically accurate either. It's that type of thing.
And that's what I was kind of wanting to touch on. There's a lot of stuff that we can dive into, but something like Kano. Kano he's always been like a beefcake, shirtless character, very muscular, very unrealistic standard of beauty. But I guess he's not in thongs. It's not like his dong flopping around through it. But anyways, these new Mortal Kombat costumes for female characters that we've all beloved are essentially covered from head to toe now. They've reduced the size of Sonya's boobs, which I don't really care. And that's a big thing to preface. It's not all about that. It just seems like a really weird move to make if what you're trying to do is avoid controversy. Is it really that people would be offended by? And if these people played Mortal Kombat, they don't give a shit about this. Like, who is it even for? If they were trying to avoid social media criticism, then they are not the company that they started out as, because being controversial and being subversive was always their business model. So when you look at a character like Katana, or you look at a character like Sonya Blade, or you look at a character like Jade, now compared to what they looked like, it's a pretty dramatic difference.
Jade looks pretty awesome, though, in the new one. I actually like the new version of Jade. She's pretty badass looking. She looks much more like Scorpion.
I'm not going to lie. Yeah, a lot of the actual costume designs are pretty dope, but I wouldn't mind having like retro skins to where if you want to play her like as a more ninja-like character, you certainly can. But if you want to go back and use that old throwback costume, that the option's still there, because it was always a titillating game. It's about the tits and ass and the violence. Obviously, it's also about the fight mechanics too, but like I just find this to be a weird move.
I just find it's the whole, like, because I see a lot of people referring to this as the whole get woke, go broke type of thing, that they always say. And the rules for wokeness always confuse me. It used to be people on the right were mad about how sexualized these characters were and how bloody and violent this game was. Now it's flipped and it's the other way. Now it's seen, it used to be seen like games like this, by pushing the boundaries, were the shining example of pushing the boundary and being, like you said, subversive. And now it's that same crowd who's offended by it, but I don't feel like the Mortal Kombat crowd is that crowd. I think the Mortal Kombat crowd, off the top of my head, would tend to be more centrist or more right, because it's violence, or old school left, not new progressive left. That doesn't seem like someone that would really be into Mortal Kombat, because it's extreme, it's offensive, that's what Mortal Kombat is. So it does seem like a weird move for an audience that probably did not want that move. I don't understand the play really, but it doesn't offend me either.
It doesn't offend you that they've changed it?
No.
Yeah,
Not at all.
I just feel like it's kind of like it just feels soft. It feels like a sellout move that like they weren't willing to hear that criticism. But again, all of this just completely graphic, gratuitous violence, and this is America, is completely acceptable. However, it's the idea that sexuality is bad or that women are constantly being sexualized. My problem, and this is, kind of maybe reaching, but it's like somehow putting a sexy costume on one of these characters like Jade or Melina or Katana. I've seen so many girls cosplay as those characters over the years, the sexy versions of them. Some women actually like to be sexual and to have some women like the fact that they have fucking rockin' bodies and want to be able to show them off. It feels to me like this new regime of Mortal Kombat, what they're kind of doing is putting these sexually, and this is just my stupid opinion, but like characters that were sexually confident that didn't have any hangups about that. They're just out there kicking ass and stuff, and now they're almost in like burqas. They've got hoods and masks over their face. Every ounce of their skin is covered. Is it progress to like dress women like they have the same rights as they would in Islam?
Well, and that's my thing that I don't understand about the new wave of like that whole wing of the left, which I would not put you on at all. I would not put, for the beginning of the podcast, I would not put Biden in that side. I'm talking the extreme progressives, the AOCs, the Ilhan Omars, and her following, those type of people. I don't really understand. I feel like it's this thing where no matter what you do, it's offensive. So women, so sometimes you talk to a feminist and all the way up to prostitution is liberating for women because
Correct.
It's women's pro-sexual, they're in control of their own sexuality, but also costume's offensive. And I don't know where this line is, and I kind of feel like there is no line. It's just being angry for the sake of being angry or making a point to be woke for the point of being woke. Because you could take literally like the point you just did, which I think is more ideologically consistent with the views of a traditional person more on the left, is female empowerment is them being okay with their bodies, but in a weird way, and we've seen progress for women's sexuality, making them into, you're not allowed to like explore their sexuality. It's a weird thing that I can't wrap my brain around.
And so I understand the old school argument, and many women have said it before, is like, we're more than just that.
I agree.
But that doesn't mean that there's not a place for those that are. Like, if they would have done something a little more subtle to where they introduced some new characters or even gave well-known characters options where you could put them in their little slutty two-piece bikini, or you can put them in this new, more femme, combat ready. It kind of looks like Assassin's Creed character designs in some of them, and I don't dislike the design of the characters. What I do dislike is that all of a sudden there's this hyper focus on the way that the female characters look when they're being bisected by fucking hell demons and had their fucking throats ripped out and fed back to them. It's like, it just seems so it's so political, but it really means nothing in terms of like this franchise is morally bankrupt, and the way that women dress is not the big point of contention. And when you look at characters like Kano, or you look at characters like Johnny Cage, they've been shirtless through the majority of the franchise with their muscular, rippling bodies, and you don't see men come out and be like, actually, men wouldn't fight in that kind of equipment because it's not armored up enough, or whatever the thing is.